This is the Awaken Life podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Scott Landis. How can you live an absolutely fulfilling and purpose-filled life, maintain a passionate, intimate relationship, all while raising kids and growing multiple streams of income? That's the big question we seek to answer on this podcast by interviewing people who are already doing it. One thing we know for sure, it takes a community to do it well. So thank you for being a part of the Awaken Life community. Looking forward to growing with you. Now on with the episode. Welcome to the Awaken Life podcast with Scott Landis. And today my guest is Kristy Yoder. She's a Filipina based in Ohio. She is a founder and CEO of SmartVAs and the host of the Master Delegator podcast. So I've been a fan of that podcast for the last month now. Definitely recommend that one, where she teaches entrepreneurs and leaders to grow their business by delegating, which I am in the process of learning. As a multi-skilled leader, she humbly worked her way from being a freelance virtual assistant and digital marketer to becoming an entrepreneur. She's passionate about helping stressed and overwhelmed business owners get their time, freedom, and life back while running a successful business. We share that in common. She built and trained a team based in the Philippines to help business owners scale their businesses while living a freedom-filled lifestyle. Kristy leads more than 70 plus team members and has served more than 200 businesses in the US together with her team since 2020. Kristy grew her business from zero to now close to seven-figure revenue. We don't have that in common. I'm still working on it. And she desires to help business owners achieve their business goals. Kristy, thank you so much for being on the Awaken Life podcast. How are you?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and we happen to be recording this on Good Friday. So happy Good Friday. It's happy Easter weekend. I actually attended a Passover event on Tuesday. That was really cool. Have you ever done anything like that?
That is interesting. When I was in the Philippines, yes, I did. But I feel like here in the States, we're not so big about, Holy Week or, Monday, Thursday, or Good Friday, so because, people are just very diverse and they believe in different kind of things. But when I was in the Philippines, yes.
Yeah. And I was asking you earlier about you have some guitars in your background there, and we were talking about music stuff, and that you told me that your husband plays in now is he still playing the worship band, or is he just grew up doing that?
Yes, he is still active at church. So he plays drums at church, and his twin brother plays the keyboard, and his sister is the worship leader. So they're pretty much all in the worship team.
Wow.
And I'm a worshiper. So I think that all works out.
Good. So you fit right in. Cool.
Right.
All right. Well, tell us about your business. And, we alluded to it there in the bio, but that's an interesting, little stat going from zero to seven figures. And is that just since 2020?
Yeah, just since 2020. I moved from the Philippines to the States, so all of this kind of stuff are very new to me. Even telling people that I am now close to seven figure, I even ask myself, why do I want to tell people that? Do I want to tell people that just to brag? Because if you go to Instagram or LinkedIn, some business owners, you will see that they put in their bio that they own a six-figure or a seven-figure business. And so I had to ask myself, about that kind of, thing that I want to put on my social media account. Why do I want to share that with people? Is it just to brag? But I realized that, it's not really about, bragging how much you have now or how much the business is earning now, but inspiring other people that, hey, if you started at $0, after 3 years, it's not impossible for you to reach seven figure.
Yeah, that's really cool. I appreciate the tone of that. And I think it comes across really clearly in just listening to your podcast. You come across as, a humble person, and it doesn't and maybe I saw that, I listened to that, and then I saw your bio in that order. So maybe I didn't even think that it would sound like bragging. It did immediately sound inspiring to me, because, and I think especially for my audience, because here we are, a bunch of married entrepreneurs with kids at home. We're busy with a capital BUSY, right? We are absolutely busy as that demographic, and we're trying to kind of keep all the plates spinning. And we're okay. Not everybody listening is going to be in this boat, but I am. Here's where I am. I'm in a place where I'm looking to scale in a business that can start to, run without me and not just be a solo entrepreneur. And I think a lot of the people listening are in that boat. And you have a solution for us on that. And, full disclosure, I started working with your company, SmartVAs, almost a month ago. So I'm pretty new at it. I'm learning to be a master delegator. Not there yet, but I'm working out the kinks. But you have a solution that it is inspiring. I mean, I think what you do is inspiring to me and people like me that want to bust through that, we've been, hitting that 6-figure mark, but the idea of going from there to the 7-figure it's about what that means for this demographic, right? That means freedom for our family. That means, the reason we got into this business in the first place, it checks all those boxes. And sure, it's, with everything else, when you have love and peace and joy in your life, it doesn't hurt to have some money to go with it, or some cash flow to go with it. Those things are independent of that though, right? So yeah, so speak from that. It sounds like you have an inspiring story and you're here to inspire people. So go, like, what comes to mind when you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I love sharing my story, and I love sharing with other people what my business can do for them. Like what you said, I have a solution that can help businesses live a freedom-filled lifestyle. But before me coming up with that solution, even before me knowing that I have that solution for businesses, first, I knew what my purpose is for my personal and professional life. And even when I was still in the Philippines, when I decided that I'm going to be living here in the States permanently, I told myself that if I am going to be married and I am going to start my own family, I want to make sure that I give them time and love they deserve. And I knew during that time that I won't be able to give them my time if I was working full time for a corporate company, if I was working from 9 to 5. And so I decided to leave my corporate job and started, my freelancing career. And so I started my business not because I want to earn a lot of money. That is part of what I want, but that's not really the main goal. I started my business because I know what I want for myself. I have a goal. And my goal is to be able to be with my family, be there for my future kids. Although we don't have kids right now, it's just me and my husband and my golden retriever puppy. When that time comes that we are ready to have a baby, we are set for success already, because at the very beginning, I know my goals and I know what I want for my life after 3 to 5 years. Even from this day, I want, I can envision how I want my life to be where it should be after 2 or 3 years. So I think for us, you know, entrepreneurs or business owners, we are very creative. We have a lot of ideas, but your ideas can only get you so far if you don't know what you want for yourself, what you want to achieve. So even before, hiring support, hiring a virtual assistant, know what you want for yourself and for your business. You need to have a mission and vision for your business. And once you have your mission and vision for your business, then ask yourself, how can I get to that point? How can I achieve my vision? And once you know how you can get there, list down all the things that you need to do in order to get there. And once you have those things, then find the right people to help you out. Because, you know, I did not achieve success alone. I cannot take full credit of where my business is right now. To be
Mhm.
honest, I probably only have 1% credit, with how much my business have grown. 99% of the credit belongs to my team, because
Mm.
they're the ones working behind the scenes and going from $0 to now near close to seven figure. I I experience a lot of good and bad things,
Mm.
and those bad things or bad situation, bad circumstances, those difficulties, those are meant for me to experience in order for me to get to where I want to be, because I had learned my lessons. And if I have not learned my lessons, I wouldn't be as wiser as I am today. Not to sound like I'm a very smart person, but
Mm.
the experiences I had in the past like helped me become who I am right now and who my business is right now. And I think that
Mhm.
is important for business owners to know that you're not meant to live life alone. Therefore, you shouldn't do business alone.
Mm. Wow, you are speaking my language. Don't do business alone. Get into a community. We're all about that. That's what the Awaken Life Academy is the community of entrepreneurs. Would love to have you come to one of our first Wednesday of every month we meet as a community. And we have our executive mastermind group, so the community, and then not doing it alone with a team. I'm starting to experience that. That's the solution your company provides. And I love what you said about 99% of the credit goes to the team. I love that. I want to dig a little deeper into that, but put a pin on that for a second. You said you were in corporate, and then you started to dream, and you started to believe for something bigger, for yourself and for your future family. What were you doing before? Just curious.
So I was working for a non-profitable organization. It was actually a mega church in the Philippines. So I was their technical administrative person. I was working
Mhm.
there for 5 years. And that job was very purposeful. But then I came to the point where I know that I did what God has called me to do at that specific organization. Like I
Oh,
did a lot
you
of
you felt
projects.
like you completed that.
I've completed my mission already in that
Gotcha.
company, and so that's why leaving the company was very easy for me, because I know that I was able to contribute a lot of things. And even up to this point, the project that I created for the organization, they are still doing it until now.
Mhm. Wow. So you got to leave behind something um, that still goes, and feel that sense of completion, and then you felt released to go to that next level. You felt the calling.
Mhm.
Okay. And you went straight from the nonprofit to, I'm going to start a VA team, or what was that revolution? That was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sort of actually, but when I quit my job, I was just thinking of starting doing things alone by myself, kind of like freelancing. I didn't
Mm.
even dream of having my own agency. I
Mm.
think the moment I built my agency was the time that I was so stressed and overwhelmed. And that's why
Mm.
I'm so passionate about, the topic of delegation, because I was at that point where I was like so stressed and overwhelmed because I couldn't say no to my current clients at that
Mhm.
time, and I couldn't say no to opportunities because first, I don't want rejecting people. I don't want them to feel like if I say no to them, they are being rejected, because I don't
Mhm.
want the same thing to happen to me. Second,
Mhm.
since my business is not getting enough revenue, I'm just taking everything in, even if they're not the right client for me. And
Mm.
so I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn that in order for me to take in the right clients, I need to make space for them. And that's by saying no to the wrong clients. Like if my
Mhm.
goal is to only have 10 clients a month and I kept saying yes to wrong clients and I have 10 wrong clients, I wouldn't have space or room for the right ones, right? So I think
Mhm.
that is very, very important to realize as well as a business owner, that you need to have patience. You can't just say yes all the time.
Mm, man, yeah, I've so been there. So how do you get to the place where you know which ones to say no to? How do you know which are the right ones that are a good fit? Like, what was your process on that?
Well, it's so funny because my thinking during that time, I am a very, very ambitious person. Like I really want my business to scale and grow faster than I can, So I did not say no to them by totally saying no. I can't accept you as a client. I said no to them by hiring more people. I said
Mm,
no to me doing the projects and delegating the tasks to
ah,
my team members. So I
got you.
still didn't so I still didn't miss the opportunities because I contacted my friends in the Philippines who were at that time 3 years ago who are freelancing. And so
Mhm.
again, so I said no by delegating the task to team members who are more capable of doing the task, you know, as compared to what I can do to the clients, because my time is very, very limited. So in a way,
Mhm.
I said no to them, but I also said yes to them by
Mhm.
delegating the task to other people.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the process, so it's almost like the process that got you to um, be a master delegator yourself was in line with or almost coincidental from like realizing, okay, I can't spend my time with this project or this client, uh, but I could delegate that to someone. Then that light bulb goes off and then you're like, okay, well, who do I delegate it to? And then that starts to kind of build the team. Is
Right,
that right?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because during that time when I was processing everything, I told myself that if I couldn't say no to these people, then I need to find a way, to serve them in a way where
Mm,
I don't get stressed and overwhelmed. And that's where I tapped in, different resources that I
mhm,
know at that current time. In
mhm,
the resource that I was talking about, was my team members now. When
mhm,
I hired my first ever virtual assistant, I was able to 10 times my business in just 3 months. And that's the reason why my business right now, even in just 3 years, we're now close to seven figure. And that is because I know my limit. And
mm,
I know that there are other people out there who can do things better than me.
mhm. Well, I can understand how you can so easily say 90% of the credit goes to my team. If you hired your first VA and you 10x your business in how many times and how many months?
In just under 3 months.
In
Yeah.
under three
And
months. Okay. I
and you
bet
know why?
everyone listening wants to do that. So help us out here.
Yeah. And you know why? The very first thing that I delegated was the very thing that I hate doing the most.
Really? Okay. What was that?
Discovery calls. I don't like doing discovery calls. And discovery calls, sales is a crucial part of your business, right? If you don't
Mhm,
have sales, if you're not good at it, if you're not experienced at it, or even if you don't enjoy it, you're not gonna have the income, that you're expecting in a month.
mhm, mhm,
So I don't like taking discovery calls. It's not because I'm not good at it. It's just that I don't like it. I hate it.
mhm.
I just imagine talking to different people. 5 times a day.
Mhm.
You're sharing the same presentation, and then you're gonna follow up with them afterwards.
Mhm.
It's just not me. I think it's also very important that you know what you are good at, what you enjoy doing, what you're
Mhm.
not good at, and what you don't enjoy doing. Because I always tell myself, what's the point of running your own business, of having your own business, if you are doing things that you are not passionate about? And I think, just personally for me, knowing that I don't like doing something, and knowing that there is somebody out there who is more passionate about doing that very thing, it helped me grow my business like
Mhm.
10 times.
Right. Okay. And then that also freed you up. If you were spending pretty much 5 calls a day, in follow up, that's pretty much your whole day, right? So you
Yeah.
delegated that, and then that freed up your time to do something that probably created more value for you. Where did most of your time go to after that?
It's mainly marketing. Now, marketing is something that I really, really like.
Okay.
It's something that I won't ever um, delegate 100% to
Mhm.
somebody. So I
Right.
am still the main head of our marketing team. I have
Mhm.
marketing VAs, but I like strategizing. I
Mhm.
like creating plans, for the business. So that is something that I'm really, really excited about doing. So I don't want that taken away from me, because if I delegate that 100% to somebody, then I will lose motivation. I will lose that fire to keep my
Mhm.
business going.
Right. All right. Okay. So when the credit goes to the team, uh, okay. So let's look at this. So you have a lot of people listening to your show probably regularly who are thinking about hiring a VA, or we haven't talked about that on this show yet. So it's a new topic for my audience. Um, but I think that a lot of them would have experience like going on to Fiverr, or like finding, some way to outsource, like they're making that first decision and it's scary and it's unfamiliar. I heard somebody else is doing it well and it's changed their business, changed their life, but I'm trying to do it and I don't know what to look for. Um, we'll get into how your business model is different, but for that person who's like just looking for the needle in the haystack, the person, on one of those, you probably can explain it better than I too, but I'm only familiar with Fiverr, but what are the places that entrepreneurs usually go to kind of find that first VA, or first, kind of outsourcing some stuff? What's that experience like usually for people? Are you a business owner who's looking to sharpen your performance in health, wealth, and relationships? And do you want to take your leadership skills to the next level and grow your business to new heights? If so, I have something special for you. That's right, I'm talking about Awaken Life Academy, the Just Show Up training program designed to help you achieve your full potential as a leader and entrepreneur. Based on a Harvard Business Review study that showed the importance of regular and consistent training during times of economic hardship, our program is tailored to meet the specific needs of business owners like you who want to improve their health, wealth, and relationships while building a successful business, even in hard times. Our expert-led training sessions will provide you with the skills and the mindset needed to succeed in all areas of your life. We'll help you develop a strong leadership style, improve your decision-making skills, boost your confidence as a business owner. You'll also learn how to balance your work and personal life, maintain good health, and build strong relationships with your team, clients, and loved ones. With just one group session a month, you can join our community of like-minded business owners who share your passion for growth and development. Our group training format provides a supportive community where you can collaborate and learn from others, develop the personal discipline you're craving, and the determination to improve every aspect of your life and business. You'll receive ongoing support and guidance from our team of experts and the community, as well as access to exclusive resources and tools to help you achieve your goals. Don't settle for mediocrity. Join the Awaken Life Academy today and start unlocking your full potential as a leader and entrepreneur. To learn more or to register for the next group session, go to awakenlifeacademy.com.
Yeah, well, that is a very good question. And yes, you're right. It can be scary because it's an unfamiliar territory, like even me myself, I didn't have experience with recruitment or recruiting people. And so as most business owners, right? And that's why they're scared. They don't know what to do because they don't know what they're looking for. They don't know how much they should pay the VA. But I always tell people that before you hire somebody, regardless if you're hiring an individual or if you're hiring a team, go back to the basics, really, your mission and vision and your goals, because you really have to be prepared before you hire a virtual assistant. You cannot hire a virtual assistant today and then tomorrow you'll figure out what you're gonna delegate to your virtual assistant. It shouldn't be that way, because you need to set your virtual assistant up for success if you want your business to succeed as well, because you are the business owner, you are the leader of your business, therefore you're leading your business and you're leading the VA. And so there are so many platforms online that you can go to if you want to find a virtual assistant to work for you on a project basis or even for long term. So like what you said, there's Fiverr, there's Upwork, and there's also onlinejobs.ph. You can find great VAs out there who can help you with your business if you have smaller budget and if your tasks are mainly project based. But again, the very first thing you need to do is make sure that you know what you want for your business. What do you need to delegate to your virtual assistant? And you wouldn't really know what you need to delegate if you don't know your goals for your business. So sit down, take your time to figure out, what your goals for your business are. And once you wrote them down, write down the things that you need to do in order to achieve your goals. So kind of like create a task inventory, and then once you have all those things that you need to do, then you are ready to hire a virtual assistant. But the question now there is, okay, there are so many tasks. I've listed 50 tasks. How many of these tasks am I going to delegate to a virtual assistant, right? So it's very, very simple. Whenever people ask me, so what kind of tasks do you delegate to a virtual assistant? For some people, they say, oh, just delegate those simple tasks like admin, all that kind of stuff. But to me, it's my approach is very different, because again, if you are passionate about, if you're a business owner and you're passionate about doing admin tasks, why would you want to delegate that to somebody else? Right? So if you are a business owner and you're good at taking discovery calls, why would you delegate that to somebody? Don't take that joy away from you. So if you ask me what kind of task do I need to delegate to my virtual assistants, first, you need to delegate the tasks that you don't enjoy and you're not good at. Delegate that 100% of the time. If you're not good at it and you don't enjoy it, what's the point of doing it, right? Like you're just going to stress yourself out and you are robbing yourself of of like revenue that could have been generated, but you weren't able to get as much revenue because you're focusing on things that you don't enjoy and you're not good at, and you're like very stressed and wondering like, why am I not getting revenue? Like I've been wanting to reach 5K months, but I'm not getting it. And maybe that's because you're doing the things you're not good at and you don't enjoy. You're forcing yourself. So find that sweet spot. What are the things that you enjoy doing and you're good at? Stick to those tasks, and the rest delegate to your virtual assistants or to your virtual assistant. I think you can start from there, but the very, very important thing really is knowing what you're good at and what you enjoy doing, what you're not good at, and what you don't enjoy doing. And once you know what you're going to delegate to your virtual assistant, then come up with a job description. If you're looking, let's say you're looking for a social media manager because you know that it's something you're not good at and you don't enjoy doing it. Create a job description, be very specific as to what you want your virtual assistant to do for you, including how many hours you want your VA to work for you on a daily basis, how much is your budget, including what kind of communication tools are you going to use so that you can communicate smoothly with your VA, because most virtual assistants right now are based out of the Philippines, and so if you are hiring somebody outside the states, then finding out what time of the day your VA is going to work for you and what time you're going to communicate is very, very crucial. Ec- um, Even if you are hiring somebody here in the states, it's also important that you know when you're going to communicate or when your VA is online. And then once you have your job description, set expectations. For business owners, we have different personalities, right? I'm a
Mhm.
type A person. If I wasn't if I wasn't a Christian, I can be I can be very, very dominant. I can have a very strong personality, but I am, because I have God in my life, I can be gracious. I
Mhm.
want to be gracious and more compassionate. But for some
Mhm.
people, they're not gracious, they're not patient, they're not compassionate. So you really have to
Mhm.
set expectations.
Mhm.
So if somebody is late for 5 minutes, for some people, it's not a problem, right? For some people, if you're not there on the dot, you're fired, right? So those kind of expectations, you need
Mhm.
to communicate that with your VA. And it's also important to know whether your VA has access to laptop or to a
Mm.
the reliable internet connection, because
Mhm.
internet connection is kind of like your VA's life, right?
Right,
Like
right.
without internet connection, there won't be work. So
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty much what I can say to people who are wanting to hire a virtual assistant, but they don't know where to start.
Mhm.
But I encourage you to start doing those things that I mentioned before it's
Mhm.
too late,
Yeah, I think
because
that's
when
a
your
really good
business
place
gets
to
too
start.
messy, yeah,
What were you gonna say? When your business gets too messy,
yeah.
what?
Because when your business gets too messy, it's not really too late, but it's going to be a lot of hard work, and we don't
Uh-huh.
want that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
we
wait
don't
till it
want
gets
to.
too messy. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to hire somebody to fix something in our business. We want to hire somebody to prevent
Mm.
anything bad that can
Hmm.
happen from within our business.
Hmm. Or even add to bolt on something that doesn't exist that you want to, right? So I think I'm just going to recap a
Exactly.
little bit of what you said, and then we'll keep going down that road. So I love what you said, because this is what Awaken Life teaches. You got to start with purpose and the mission and the vision. Before you hire someone, uh, get that foundation. This is what I call the alignment operating system. You need to make sure you're not only is your daily habits in line with your purpose, but your goals, and the people that you're hiring need to be in line with that, and the tasks that they're doing need to be in line with that. So good advice. Start with the mission, vision, and purpose. And I have a tool. I have a define your purpose challenge if people are needing that. If they're like, well, I don't even know what my purpose is, because your mission and vision should be kind of based on your purpose. So you got to start with the foundational is that purpose. So I created the define your purpose challenge for that, for people to do that. So I've got that covered in the Awaken Life Academy. But what if somebody says to you, well, I don't know. How do I have to figure out what my mission and vision and purpose is? What do you usually say?
That's a very good question. I think start with your core values.
Hmm.
I think because of my values in life and my principles, it made me realize what my purpose is.
Hmm.
Because I don't think it's possible to have a purpose in life without having values or
Yeah.
principles. I think you need to have values first
Yeah.
before knowing your purpose, because by the time you know your purpose, that means that you know what is important for you.
Mhm.
So
That's a good definition.
I think that's just what I can think of on top of my
Yeah.
head right now. I
Yeah,
have
no, that's
never
really good.
Nobody asked me that question yet. This is the first.
Well, good. Well, and that's exactly what my answer would be. So yeah, we're very in line on that, and that's really cool. And yeah, and I want to put that out to you and your people that you work with. Like, I can offer that as a solution for your clients if they need that. It does, the Define Your Purpose challenge does start with core values, and in fact, it even starts with your core values. You can learn by kind of looking at your design. You kind of know who you are by how you're designed. And we kind of have a uniqueness there, right? We're not all the same in our design. And the
Right.
design, your purpose comes out of your design, you're gonna really feel like you're living something out. Cool. So then you said, this is so good. Start with what you're not good at and what you don't enjoy. That would be the first things to start delegating. And okay, I'm going to share a little story of my experience. So, and then, well, let me put a pin in that real quickly in like a minute or two. What is different about SmartVAs? And then I'll pick up, why I chose to go with SmartVAs when I was starting to hire people. What's different from what you were talking about? You said, there's Fiverr and there's Upwork, but SmartVAs is a little different. So describe that.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about just the surface level, or like the outward view of smart VAs. So smart VAs is different because we provide a team of virtual assistants. And the reason why we provide a team of virtual assistants is because we know that each virtual assistant has their own skill set. If us business owners, we don't expect ourselves to do everything on our own, then we shouldn't expect our VAs to do everything on their own as well. We need to make sure that each VA or each team member that we have are is motivated by the task that they're doing, and they will not give you quality output. I mean, it's not like they're not really going to give you, but they might not be able to give you quality output that you're expecting if you're giving them tasks that they're not good at. And that's why we provide a team of virtual assistants, because a social media manager might not be able to do web development. An admin assistant might not be able to do SEO. Those are different skill sets. And one of the reasons why we provide a team of virtual assistants as well is because we want to help businesses who are ready to scale. Just imagine if VAs, two virtual assistants, may not be able to do those 50 tasks in just 1 month or 2 months. You need a team of virtual assistants. So that's mainly what we do. We help businesses scale faster.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and the reason that I was attracted to SmartVAs is, well, first of all, somebody I knew turned me on to it. So it always helps to have like somebody, a referral, somebody, instead of just throwing darts at the wall and see what you land on, having somebody say, you know what, this is something I've heard of, or a buddy of mine has a good experience over here. So
What's the
here
name of the person who referred you?
Well, his name is Sep, but I think it was his buddy who might be a client of yours. But Sep is, last time I talked to him, he was planning on working with SmartVAs as well. Sep Shoemaker. He's been on the podcast as well.
Cool.
But anyway, so I got started, and I want to share something I've learned, which kind of sounds like, I might have made a mistake, but at the same time, I wouldn't have found the learning without the, air quotes, mistake. So I've been doing it for a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks now. And I even got to take a vacation in the middle of that, which was amazing to have my business keep running and people still working for my business while I'm like by the
Nice.
pool. What's so cool. It was awesome.
It
Um,
is, yeah.
but when I first started, I was like, okay, I don't know what to delegate. And then I bet that my story isn't too uncommon, right? I don't know what to delegate. So I just start throwing things like, I'm like, oh, well, I the processing and uploading of my podcast, I could get that off my plate. I just started looking at what's on my plate and what could I get off my plate. And, if I were me listening to this podcast, I would take some wisdom from you and I would say, I would filter it a little differently. I'd say, okay, what am I not good at and what I really don't enjoy? I'll start with that and maybe more exactly find what I want to start delegating. But I was just more random. Up till now, I've been like very random. This morning, I had an epiphany. Like before I started talking to you today, I was talking to someone else who kind of I'm seeing as an operations, fractional operations COO for my business. And I realized, oh, so I need to like install new components into my business. So let me do a metaphor. It's like I have a car in the driveway that's represents my business. And there's components of the engine that are either need to be replaced or need to be upgraded or missing. And the car kind of runs, but it doesn't really run really well. And I'm constantly having to like tinker with it. What are the components of the engine that if I were to install, it would start running like a full machine? And eventually I want to put another driver in it, right? So it can drive without me, right? But right now I'm working on what are the components of the business that make it run better, smoother, have less issues. I want to suggest, well, that's what I've learned this morning. This epiphany that I had this morning was, okay, there are components of the business that, are operationally missing that, with all the automations and the connections with CRMs to social media and all the things that can be automated these days, I can get that rolling with the help of this guy I'm working with. But I'm also, I could be that guy, right? But that's another delegation, right? But I realize I need to have my team do the connecting of the wires and all of the installing. These are administrative tasks that I'm definitely not good at, and I might enjoy it, but I don't think I would enjoy it that much. And more than anything, I just don't have time because it's an addition to what I'm already doing. But the reason why the last few weeks weren't a mistake, because I literally had to get so many things off my plate so I could start to think at this higher level. I would not have had this epiphany if I didn't have all of this other stuff off my plate. Now I'm probably going to start to take some of that stuff back because I'm like, well, I actually enjoy some of that stuff that I've delegated, so I might as well be doing it. But the process that I hope somebody listening will kind of take and run with. The process that I had to go through was just to be able to think at a different level, to think more like a CEO instead of like a solo entrepreneur. I had to just get it off my plate, even if it wasn't the right stuff. So all that to say, it's sort of like that, that Romans 8:28 that says like even your mistakes can be used for your good, right? So
Yeah,
that's why I
right.
sort of said air quotes mistake, because it was a necessary step. But now I can more effectively use my SmartVA team to do things and install new pieces of my business that are going to really make it grow.
Right.
Any
Mhm.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I love that, and because the first step is to delegate the things you don't enjoy doing and you're not good at, right?
Mhm.
But eventually, the final step is to delegate everything. I
Mm,
don't know about you, but my goal is to just spend time with my family, travel to the Philippines, spend time with my family, do the things I want, maybe go on mission trips. The end goal really is to remove myself out of my business, um, or probably just work 2 hours a day, just meet with my core team, because eventually the goal really is to delegate everything, you
that's
know,
so cool.
and I think that's what you did.
Hmm.
You 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 were quick, to that point. At least
Mhm.
now, okay, so this is how it feels, delegating everything. I have more time to think, you know, but it's also not wrong to tell your team that, hey, you know what? I actually miss doing this automation thing in social
Mhm.
media or whatever.
Mhm.
I think I think I should continue doing that, and then
Mhm.
I'll hand off another task to you because I think you're the one who's the best person to do that. So
Mhm.
I don't think what you did is really, a mistake.
Mhm.
I think it's right, because
Yeah.
eventually the whole goal is delegate everything, and
Yeah.
just have a lot of white space on your calendar, and just network with people, talk to your clients, nurture your clients, because that's the
Mhm.
end goal, really, to have a lot
Yeah.
of white spaces on your calendar.
Wow. I like that mindset shift. That is so good. All right. So we are, I wish that I had more time with you because this is so good and rich and fascinating. But we do have a time limit. And I want to just sort of end it with this question. So somebody's listening, somebody who is where I was just a month ago. I'm like, I don't know if I can afford to do this. This is like scary. I ended up pulling the trigger. But for the person who's like there, answer this question. Why can they not afford to delegate? Or let me say, why you can't afford to not delegate? Did I get I had to ask that question a few different times. So why you can't afford to not delegate? That's the question. What would you say?
Because your sanity is at stake.
Yeah.
Your sanity is at stake if regardless if you are a virtual assistant, regardless if we're talking about business, you know, even inside your house, right? You cannot do your laundry, fold your clothes, and do the dishes at the same time, and vacuum and mop the floor. You need to delegate that to your kids and to your husband. So
Yeah.
delegation does not only apply to our businesses, it applies to our life holistically. That's
Mhm.
why we can't afford to not delegate, because our sanity here is at stake.
Mhm.
We may force ourselves to have 48 hours a day. You may not sleep the whole night and just keep working on your business,
Mhm.
but your body is going to break down. Your
Mhm.
mental health is not going to be where it should be. You're not going to be function the way how you are created. And that's why we can't afford not to delegate.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and that again, it fits really well with, we talk about the foundational pillar of fulfillment is vitality. And you got to take care, you got to protect your vitality. Then the next one's relationships. So another way of saying your sanity is at stake. I mean, your mental health, your physical health, your relationships, your spiritual health. But yeah, you can't get to freedom and making an impact without getting some of this stuff off your plate. That's such a good picture of like trying to do the dishes and the laundry and the cooking and everything at the same time. That's good.
It's not
Well,
possible, really.
right, exactly. Well, okay. So, Kristy, thank you so much for being on the Waking Life podcast. So, if you want to get a hold of Kristy, there's a link in the show notes. I don't know if there's a easier URL to get to it. Right now, we've got KristyYoder.com/how to hire a virtual assistant training with all the hyphens in there. Is there a easier way to find it than that? I mean, obviously, if somebody can get to the show notes, they can click it. But if they're like driving right now, is there an easy way to find that?
Yeah, just go to KristyYoder.com, and that should be on top of the header. That link should be on top of the header.
Got it.
Kristy,
Perfect.
KristyYoder.com.
KristyYoder.com. Cool. Thank you, Kristy, for being on the Waking Life podcast. I really appreciate it. You're an amazing guest. And maybe someday I can be on your podcast after I become a master
Oh,
delegator
yes.
myself.
I will definitely invite you to be a guest on my podcast. I will make the tables turn.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So keep looking for that. And yeah, but thank you so much, Kristy. It's been a pleasure having you on the Awaken Life podcast.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Awaken Life podcast. I've been your host, Scott Landis. Hey, are you feeling overwhelmed and stressed out? It could be that you're out of balance or have a misalignment of your time and priorities. This month at Awaken Life Academy, we're featuring the Total Freedom Life Wheel, designed to help you uncover what might be off balance in your work, life, and other priorities. And then it helps you realign your priorities to your purpose. Check out the full training video and the free download at wheel.awakenedlife.com. That's wheel.awakenedlife.com for free access. Don't put this personal growth opportunity off. Go get it now and start to experience the freedom that balance can bring to your life. Go to wheel.awakenedlife.com.